Welcome to The Source with your host, Dr. C.T. Curry, and co-host Kobe Owens. News all across the nation. The Source. Stay in the loop in the city of Wilmington, Delaware. Work together for change in the community. A call to action to find the resources. The Source, the latest in news.
Good evening. This is Dr. Curry.
This is Kobe Owens.
And welcome to The Source. Kobe, it has been an interesting week. The government is shut down. Trump is just playing games. He's doing racist stuff. He just don't care. And he's banking on the fact that he believes that the country will say it's the Democrats' fault because they did not vote to keep the government open when he's just doing craziness.
He's just doing whatever he wants. And again, I just want to reiterate that the last two shutdowns prior to this one also happened under his administration. We have not had one in 6 years. What happened in 6 years? 4 years of Democratic leadership. Trump is the president of shutdowns. And let's be honest, he has the trifecta. He has the House, he has the Senate, and of course he has the White House. They have the power to keep the government open. They want to play political games. And moments, hours leading up to the government shutdown, where were the Republicans? Not on Capitol Hill working hard. They were at big fundraisers, at golf course, and at fancy venues, raising money for their campaigns.
Yeah, because they really are banking on the fact that that the government's closed because of a vote, but in actuality, it could have been prevented. What gives him the authority to believe, that's how I'm going to have to word this, that I don't need to negotiate? Because now he got the House, he has the Senate, and he's in the White House. Mm-hmm. So in his mind, I don't need to negotiate, but yeah, I'm going to blame the Democrats if the place is closed down.
Yeah, I mean, the Supreme Court gave him that power when they said he has complete immunity, and he has taken that and run. He does whatever he wants right now. If you go on a government website right now because you need help, you can't get to the pages you want without seeing a note that says radical far-right leftists shut down the government. He is using government entities to be very political, which has always been offline. But because they said he has immunity and can do whatever, he has taken that to the furthest he can.
When I saw the data where they're showing who they are blaming, I think it was 47% said Trump. The other 30 is saying the Democrats. I hope that will wake him up. Or do you think it's too early for it to stay sturdy?
No, I think he doesn't see any of it, right? He sees it as a great mandate. All Americans are coming together to support him against the Democrats. That's what he's thinking right now. And to be honest, I don't know if he ever will change his mind on this.
When he loses the House and the Senate, he'll change his mind, I'm sure.
But that's a long time from now. That's a year, almost a year and a month. We cannot wait that long to reopen the government, because even though we have services like SNAP, WIC, Social Security that will continue to be funded, if the workers aren't getting paid, they're going to get other jobs. Now, I will say this. It's interesting that he doesn't seem to care about the federal workers who are still there after he did all these loyalty tests and pledge of allegiance to the state of Donald Trump and everything, and then he takes away their pay. So that's a big thank you to them. He kicked out most of the Democrats already.
Yeah, so I guess they'll start complaining and he'll decide, well, you better open back up the government. How will they be able to have an off-ramp to even open it up when no one is talking?
So there's still avenues that can come together. You have some Republicans who want to get the government back open. They know the impact it's going to cause in their district. They did not want to see it shut down. They have been trying to reach out, but you have to have leadership finally wake up and come together. And I think after hopefully a few days, they will feel the pressure to do that. But it has been projected that this could be anywhere from a 10-day shutdown to a 3-month shutdown.
Oh, Lord.
And it will have great impact across this nation.
Do you think he's really going to do that mass firing he's been threatening to do?
I think if it gets past the 10-day mark, that will signal that this is his true intention to do that mass firing.
Wow, I really think that we are living in very tedious times, and I'm so glad that they did not cut off the Social Security checks, because that is these. First of all, these people have certainly earned their right to have that, but I am concerned about some of the VA benefits and some of the
Yeah.
things that they're doing with the vets and things of that nature.
And I just want to a point of clarity. They did not decide
Right.
not to cut off Social Security. When Social Security was created and some of these programs were created, it was written in that if there is a shutdown, they're still funded. And they do have very small pots of money in reserves for something like this. So they will keep going as long as their cabinet secretary triggers and says, hey, go ahead, use that reserve money. The programs will keep going until the reserves run out as well too.
So they got a lot of power in their hands.
Yes.
Do you think that that the government will do you we're losing trillions of dollars every day that the place is closed, but do you think that the government will come to a place where, well, I shouldn't say the government, this country, where they say, you know what, I'm just tired of Trump, I'm tired of this, and we need to do better?
Oh, I believe so. I believe that after a while, the people who were either the ones who didn't go out and vote or the people who did go out and vote and voted for Trump it's going to realize that they've made their lives worse under his administration and that they're either going to flip their votes or not vote for a Republican, but not vote for a Democrat, maybe vote third party. Again, sometimes it's all about how you are being impacted yourself.
Right. Now, there. Do you think that the whole notion of Trump doing what he wants to do, with you saying it's too far off for us? I'm not hoping that a shutdown stay that long, but even though he has full immunity, don't you think that he's going to have to pay for some of this or have to answer for some of this?
He is down the road. But again, I don't think we're ever going to be in a point where there's enough justices to hold him accountable. There's enough members of Congress to hold him accountable. Even if Democrats are able to retake the Senate in the House, you still need 60 and a majority in the House, right? So again, I don't think anything's ever going to happen on that level. If anything, his legacy is just going to be told in a way that explains why we never want to go back there. And he will go down as the absolute worst president, and we've had some pretty bad ones.
Oh yeah,
worst president that we have ever seen in the lineage of our U.S. presidents.
if he doesn't break out democracy. The Nobel Peace Prize, he really wanted that. Didn't Barack Obama get the Nobel Peace Prize?
Yeah.
And he really wants that. Do you think he's going to get it?
Oh, they're going to keep nominating him for it, but I don't think the world caves and gives it to him. I hope they don't, because he hasn't done anything notable.
Well, he's stopped 7 wars. And
he started a war. He started 7 right here on American soil. It's called in L.A., Chicago, Baltimore, D.C. He's maybe he's not focusing around the world, but he is focusing on militarizing our streets and Black communities.
I think he's setting us up for something. He's going to try to do
martial law.
Yeah.
So when he loses the election, or when J.D. Vance doesn't win, in 2028, they're going to declare martial law and try to stay in office past their time.
Do you think that the Democrats need to stop playing by the rules and begin to really play hardball with Trump? Because I did notice that a judge recused himself because his wife is a congressman, and somebody's going up against Trump for a case, and the judge who was assigned the case said, I'm going to recuse myself because my wife is a congresswoman in that area. Do you think we need to stop playing by the rules?
Like I said, with the redistricting fight, certain times call for certain measures. And right now, all gloves have to be off. You have to fight hard. You have to fight in the street. And if Trump wants a dog fight, you have to bring that dog out of you. The Trump administration is literally taunting Democrats right now. And there was a very racist-based video put out of Hakeem Jeffries wearing a sombrero. It was AI edited, and Chuck Schumer as well, too. Things like that, it's not a joking matter. We need to start hitting back quicker, faster, and more concise. And I will say I am disappointed in Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer for their lack of energy. You need to really be out there owning the narrative that this is a Trump control shutdown. They are playing the old respectable politics of the 60s and 70s. And I just want to be honest. I don't believe in respectable politics like that, right? Because during that time, while people were trying to be nice to each other, we didn't have our civil rights,
Right.
and our communities kept
So,
suffering.
so you kind of is of the school of thought maybe that maybe Nancy Pelosi needs to get back into the chairship.
Well, not even Nancy. Nancy's past her time as well.
She's past her
too.
time, but she was a fighter, man.
But I think the party should, if they're not in leadership, you shouldn't demonize your own. And they demonize their own, like Jasmine Crockett, AOC.
Oh yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying.
And stuff like that. And they have a different way of thinking. They have a huger base. They have the messaging power to actually get out what's going on. But because they don't say the gentleman from North Carolina, you want to demonize them. No, they are talking like regular people, like we do. You have to break it down to just connect with people. It's no more, oh, well, if you're not in a suit and tie when you're giving a speech, your message doesn't deliver. No, actually, people trust people more who are wearing the hoodie and jeans, but understands the facts. So again,
and that's why Trump is winning, because he's becoming he's so non-traditional. He just does things and say things and just act crazy. And people are like, okay, I'm listening. I hear him.
And it's funny because before we started filming today, me and Sean were talking about, this is almost like a episode of Veep or something. Like it's so chaotic and so unbelievable. Like I would love this as a TV show. I would binge watch this. I just don't want to live through it.
Yeah.
It's very tiring.
It is. Well, I just wanted to start off by talking about how crazy things are with this government shutdown right now. And it's going to get a little bit worse, but I kind of encourage the saints at Zion, as well as those who listen to me, to keep their eyes focused, and they're going to be fine. We're going to get through this. Who wants to live through this? Nobody, but we're going to get through this. This week, and I'm very hats off to Chief Campos and to the others. We don't have any reported shootings, and I'm very glad to announce that today, that there are no reported shootings. And I think that that's something that we need to celebrate, because we certainly criticized very strongly when they were hiding stuff, but it seems like things are much better. But we do have a couple updates.
Yes.
One, I want to talk a little bit about the 17-year-old Wilmington boy charged with several felonies, and I just want to hear what you have to say about that.
Yeah, so on Monday the 29th, there was a police chase with the Delaware State Police that started in Philly. The car was stolen from Philly as well, but it was a 17-year-old boy from Wilmington who was arrested on multiple gun and drug charges. He refused to stop. He was speeding through Wilmington, ran several lights, merged onto 95, back onto 95 towards Newark and everything, and then crashed into a building off of College Ave, North College Ave down there in like UD area.
Right.
The driver then fled on foot, but the officers were able to track him down and arrest him. The charges he's being charged with is a firearm for a person under 21, undetectable firearm, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, firearm of a previously convicted violent felony, concealed deadly weapon, disregarding police officer signal, untraceable firearm, stolen property, marijuana other than for a personal use quantity, resisting arrest, possession of a controlled substance, possession of a drug, paraphernalia, criminal mischief, and other traffic offenses like running red lights.
He's just a baby.
Yeah.
And already he's just done.
Yeah.
It's just, when you sit here listening to you read that exhausted list of
it's a long
charges,
list.
It's just unbelievable. His mother, his father, his people, where are we at? This is just really not good. And then we also want to give an update on the victim of the August shooting in Wilmington. He succumbed to his injuries, and he transitioned. I think his name was Lee Harris or something of that nature.
Lee Moore Harris.
Yeah.
He was 32 years old. Again, was found in the 500 block of West 9th Street on August the 11th. and he later died of his injuries in later September. So again, they're still searching for a suspect, and the police have asked anyone with any information related to that shooting to call detectives at 302-576-3963.
Perfect. And I want to move us to now across the country. We've had several meetings here at the church, and the crime or the attacks on churches now, the seven Latter-day Saints situation,
Mhm.
where the gentleman not only tried to get into the building, but he ran his car into it, he burned the building, and shot a few people. We're living in a very litigious time. The church used to be a sacred place. They didn't bother the church, but now it appears that there's no rules to anything.
Right now in America, nothing's off limits.
Yeah.
Kids can't go to school. Families can't go to church. Family can't go to the mall, to grocery stores, can't go um, to the local movie theaters and stuff. It is really sad that we have such a glorification of guns in America
Mhm.
that we don't see the violence, the heartache, the damage it's doing to our communities right now. And again, listen, I understand everyone wants to talk about their Second Amendment right, even though our president forgets about people's First Amendment rights. Um,
Mhm.
Back then, when they wrote that, me and you were only 3/5 of a person. Um, the guns back then, you had to load it, put a stick down there, pick gunpowder in there. You did not have the weaponry that
Right.
we have today. And there's a ton of additional add-ons that make it even worse now. I don't know what type of gun that this individual had, but again, you at minimum, some of these mags are 15, whole 15, 17, 30 bullets at a
Mhm.
time. Standard is maybe 10 or 9, depending what type of gun you have, or
Mhm.
if it's a revolver, 6. Um, we have to do a better job of coming together
Mm.
and figuring out how do we make our community safe. Um, and I just think the culture of safe havens, even in our communities, we don't have safe havens anymore.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
nothing off limits.
Yeah. They've been attacked.
We talk about the Eden Park shooting,
Yeah.
right? I don't care what that person was into. You had kids, you had babies out there,
Mhm.
and they did not care.
Mhm.
We really have to figure out what's going on in our communities.
Well, it starts with dealing with this gun issue, and I agree with you. The Second Amendment, you do have that right, and those of us who are carriers of firearms, we want to keep that
Yeah.
to protect our families. But everyone doesn't deserve to have one. And number two, the type of weapons they are using is just
Mhm.
unacceptable. And everything right now, while the Republicans are in charge, they are not talking about it. Everything is the issue except for the guns.
Yep.
But we really need to find a way to deal with that. And speaking of that, well, I want to also say to those of you who are watching us, you may want to have a conversation with your pastors. It's time to make sure that even while we're in worship, that we are protecting. We're even going to do drills because
Mhm.
we're doing a service to really be able to handle some of the things that's happening. We've allowed the Department of the Wilmington Police Department to have access to our cameras. So if something is going on, they right on the spot they can see what's happening and how to handle certain things.
Mhm.
It's time to invest in taking care of the people who come in and do it, because people don't want to come out. They're afraid. So if you want to keep them coming out, it's going to be important that we figure it out. And it could be a large church, it could be a small church. Evil has no limits to what it wants to do. And I don't want to just belabor the point, but I do want to make sure that I brought that to the front because that hurt me to see this person had such a hatred and said they were anti-Christ,
Mhm.
but yet I guess he was representing Christ, and he ended up shooting up the folks and burning the church down. I want to give a shout out to Pope Leo. Uh, as I get ready to come to the end of my time, the Pope said what most common folks been saying for years. He was talking about how the conservatives believe in pro-life, but they actually don't.
Mm-hmm.
Because pro-life is beyond just abortion. It's about making sure they have good life and
Mm-hmm.
while they're living, because they'll cut the SNAP program. They've cut all these services to help children live, but yet they just don't want the abortion to be a part. And now he's not being favored too much with the conservatives.
He, his statement saying that if you support abortion, if you are anti-abortion but pro death penalty, you're not pro
Yeah, that
life.
was the direct.
That upset a ton of people.
But that's true.
And I did tune into Fox News because I like watching all sides.
I
And
don't.
they had a whole discussion on it and how he was wrong. And I just find it so interesting because we've gone through this debate so many times here in Delaware since they struck down the death penalty and then trying to get it off the books completely. People want special provisions in there. If an officer is killed, then you get the death penalty. But what about the service worker? What about the
Right.
teacher? What about the student? So it always breaks down. We haven't been able to get the constitutional amendment just yet. But again, I think this is huge. From my understanding, this is the first major issue that the Pope from Chicago,
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say.
the Pope from Chicago has weighed in on when it comes to U.S. politics. I know he's done more global stuff. So if he's taken that stance of he's going to be more involved with U.S. politics, it's going to be very interesting to see how those conservative Christians start to react to him, or do they stay loyal to their favorite Pope, Pope Trump?
Yeah, well, Pope Trump got everybody, even those evangelicals. Last but certainly not least, the bomb threats. Man, just a week or so ago, I mean, bomb threats went through both of our major universities here in Delaware, Delaware State, as well as University of Delaware. Trump is just creating a havoc, and I'm not blaming it on him because people are just crazy.
Yeah.
Have you heard anything else about who they found out who did these threats? Or anything?
They're still searching right now. I know the incident at UD, they got the all clear the day of within a few hours to have students go back to normal operations. DSU remained closed for the rest of the day when they got theirs, and both state police was handling it with Department of Homeland Security and some other help just to make sure everything was clear. But this, at least when it comes to DSU is not the first HBCU to be targeted since the shooting of Charlie Kirk. We have seen a trend. There was actually 4 other HBCUs targeted on that day with bomb threats. This is a trend that we have seen ever since Charlie Kirk was killed. And I was saying in my office the other day that it's very interesting that a white conservative MAGA Trump donor shot and killed pro Second Amendment person shot and killed Charlie Kirk, and the first thing that his supporters do is target HBCUs. And
you said it was a MAGA supporter who killed Trump.
Yep.
Where did that come? I didn't see it.
He was a donor to Donald Trump.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He had Make America Great hats. His family super conservative.
Well, I know they were super conservative.
So again, he comes from that lineage, and he's posted multiple times about the amazing work Trump's doing and how we have to defend Trump. They decided to come after HBCUs. They decided that this violence, and which Charlie Kirk's last word was, is it gang violence? Because he liked pitting everything back on minorities and we're all gang leaders and stuff like that. It had to be because of Black people. There was an interview done not long ago, maybe about a week ago, that a young lady was saying that she still just can't believe he did this and he must have been listening to rap music. So again, it's things like this that continues to keep us divided and enrages other people to make threats like this. I'm glad it was only a threat and that no one was hurt. But I really do fear for all our HBCUs, all 101 of them, that I think that something is going to escalate because people are just pitting false narratives out there.
Yeah. Well, it's just a whole lot going on. We opened up the show and talked about so much today because it's just so much going on. Trump really knows how to just be a whirlwind. We're going to take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back. And we're back. Kobe, what's going on in the Kobe corner? You mean you got more news than what we've already covered?
I got a lot of news. Well, if you don't know, now you know we are in a government shutdown, the Donald Trump special. And it's kind of the only thing he can do on a consistent basis is shut down the government. I guess it's his failed leadership skills, just like his casinos and his universities. But I also want to talk about Donald Trump is now embracing the conservative blueprint known as Project 2025. The same thing that during the campaign he said, oh, I haven't even read it. Oh, I don't know what that is. That is not my agenda. That's not my platform. Yada, 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 yada. Then he hired pretty much everyone who wrote the Project 2025 agenda. He hired somewhere in his administration. He's been implementing every piece of it right now. And he finally said, well, you know what? I'm the big boss. No one can touch me. I have complete immunity. And he announced a meeting with his budget chief, Russ Vought, who, again, helped write Project 2025. And he admitted on his Truth Social site that this was what he wanted the whole time and that we're going to implement every aspect of those 900 pages of Project 2025. And here's the thing, the Heritage Foundation is the one who produced it and everything and gave him the blueprint because they felt as though the first time he was in the office, he was just there. He just woke up and did whatever, and he really has no clue what he's doing, which is true. I actually agree with them on that. He's absolute airhead. And he's the orange one at that.
They're going to cancel your show.
He's the orange one at that. No one likes that one. But the Heritage Foundation said, okay, if you're going to be back in office, we're going to tell you exactly what to do, and you just be our puppet. And he said, yes, give me money, I'll do it, and I'll put tax breaks. That's all he understands is tax breaks for the rich.
Thank you.
If you're too poor, that's on you. Both Joe Biden and Kamala Harris both stated multiple times that this was his Project 2025, and people just did not believe them. And I think back to a news article from the New York Times that said Kamala Harris comes up with another, it was either a lie, fable, something, saying that Donald Trump's going to send the military after you. She countered with saying, no, actually, it says that right in Project 2025, and they would not cover that. Now that same journalist is writing about the occupations in different cities throughout America right now, using the military to do that work on U.S. soil. So again, I just wanted to bring this up that Trump has finally admitted it, and it feels good to say, I told y'all so sometimes. But also, this Project 2025 is detrimental to so many people. And it's not just minorities. It is poor, white Christians who vote for Trump. They're going to be impacted the most. They're the ones in Arkansas, in Iowa, in Nebraska, Kansas, North and South Dakota, Mississippi, Alabama, who are on welfare, who are on SNAP benefits, Social Security. These cuts that they want to get done in this, you voted against your own best interests. And you already see that Trump does not care because he's fine. He has immunity. Everyone else can go to jail. Everyone else can suffer.
They will.
But he's good. And this is just very concerning. Now, bringing it back local real quick. Property tax, taxes and reassessment. It's been something we've been talking about literally since the day we got sworn in. And Councilwoman Christian Willhaller from the 5th District and myself and Councilman Hackett and others have brought this up numerous times. When we voted on the budget, I pled with my council colleagues not to support the split rate, not to acknowledge that we want to accept this data because it was rooted on flawed data. And even though we had a constitutional duty to pass a balanced budget, we could not do that on the back of false information. And I brought it up multiple times. I did my research and I just knew something wasn't right. I reached out to the county multiple times. They didn't give us a meeting until 3 days before the vote. I reached out to Tyler Technology. They came on that meeting 3 days before and admitted that they may have messed up in the city of Wilmington. And when I pushed them hard on it, they were like, well, yeah, you're right. There's inconsistencies. But we would need more money and more time to fix it. No. If
More
I
money.
order something
Mhm.
and this is what you're supposed to do and you don't do what you're supposed to do, I'm not giving you more money. You go back
That's
and fix it on your own dime.
It's called. He tried to do a work change order. Mhm. Not gonna happen.
So now it has come out. The General Assembly has put together a special committee, and in that committee meeting, a few things came out. First was County Exec Marcus Henry stated that they have discovered that at the time, County Exec Matt Myers' administration delayed the results of Tyler Technologies assessment from being released to the public until after the November election.
Oh wow.
And that gave us a smaller window to appeal and fight back on this. And this is why so many people are in the situation they are, because they did not have the time that they needed to actually understand what was going on and get the proper help that they needed. And then 2, Tyler Technology did not collect permitting data while assessing the values in Wilmington. They just made up numbers in Wilmington.
How's that?
And mass appraisal works as you look at the exteriors and then you compare them to sales of the nearby. Like if a house on my block sold for $250,000, right? And they look at my house, they look very similar. They're gonna base it similar to that, right? Based on the outside appearance of the house. And public information associated with parcels that the city stores, which is permits, right? So if I go and let's say now they look at the permit on my house. Oh, he has the same house as him, but he added another bathroom. He got a permit to add a back porch on or something like that. Okay, we're gonna appraise that a little higher now. They didn't do that last part.
Oh, wow.
They just made up numbers. So it means that properties throughout the city of Wilmington, many that are in some of our hardest hit neighborhoods, have been assessed at values that are much higher than their true market value, which means the residents will end up paying more in taxes, right? And this is the issue with it. And I don't think the city should have to pay any additional money up. Tyler Technology should be paying us for their own. And I'm going to push for the city to sue Tyler Technologies for doing very faulty work in the city of Wilmington. And again, some of the information that they should be pulling is verified transactions of the sales of properties, right? The interior condition of the housing stock you get from the permitting and stuff. So again, they just did not do their job, and it has cost people so much additional money. So we do have some legislation coming forward by Councilwoman Harley and Councilwoman Wilhauer that will allow for internal appraisals in the city of Wilmington to try to go back, get enough data from the inside, and then try to fix some of these numbers. But again, it's going to take a while. I have an ordinance up that will put a moratorium on foreclosures so no one loses their houses because they can't pay their property taxes.
Wow.
And when you look at it, it's that gap window, right? So seniors already have an exemption to a certain point, as a percentage, but they are still struggling to pay. Then you're not quite a senior, but you may be retired already. You retired early, or you paid off your house already. So you're not paying into your escrow account when you make your mortgage payment. You're paying that full out-of-pocket fee as well too for your property taxes as well. So again, we want to protect all those people and make sure that people are not losing their homes because of Tyler Technologies extreme mess up of what's going on. Next, I want to talk about more of a regional thing, which is the Mach 2, which is the Mid-Atlantic Clean Hydrogen Hub. That was started under the Biden administration and announced that Delaware, South Jersey, and Philly area was one of the hubs right here. And we did not know if the funding was still going to be there. It's a $7 billion project. But last week, the Delaware-based company received the first check for the federally funded Delaware Accelerator and Speed Capital Program for engineering to start working on developing clean hydrogen here in this area. It's supposed to be 7 different areas throughout the nation. I know some of them have been pulled. Ours, I guess, will not be pulled because that first check has gone out. So this is good. It's supposed to be union jobs on building this, but then union jobs actually running it as well too. So this is a great opportunity for us to continue to partner with our friends over in Jersey and PA to really build something that's going to be beneficial for our entire community and for the environment as well too. So again, there is it's broken down into 233 different small projects that are all going to be working together to build this hub in this area. And then my last piece here, which I'm very proud of, I passed my first ordinance
Amen.
on
Ching,
city
ching,
council.
ching, 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 ching. Yay.
And that ordinance again creates an educational down payment program and down payment and settlement costs payment program, and that's for anyone who works in a school that's in the city of Wilmington. Again, what that means is whether you're administrative assistant, an educator, a social worker, a paraprofessional that works for the school district, all the way down to the custodial staff, you will now have access to an additional $15,000 of a stackable loan. It's a 10-year forgivable loan that all you have to do is put $1,000 of your own money up for, and that goes towards purchasing your first home here in the city of Wilmington.
Wow,
that does a few things. It's designed to anchor our blocks, which means bringing more stability to our blocks throughout the city of Wilmington. But then also it helps us, especially on the educator side, it helps us really target recruitment and retention of educators to come and be in our city schools, especially when we're going out. We're looking at DSU, we're looking at the Morgan States, we're looking at Lincoln and our surrounding HBCUs. And one of the main issues that they say they don't want to come here is they can't afford to live here, right? The pay may be better other places, but the housing stock is also better as well too. So while I can't control how much they get paid, I can't control what actually happens in the classroom, I wanted to do something on the outside, which is how can we partner this with the city of Wilmington? And that is having people come in and be homeowners in our city. It benefits the city. We get revenue, we get wages back from that, but then also we benefit from having an educator on the block, a social worker on the block. So again,
which builds community.
It builds community,
yeah.
Which is what this is all about. So I look forward to working with our real estate and housing department once we have that all set up, going on a media tour to really promote this, and also working with the different school districts in the city of Wilmington to make sure we really highlight this.
I think that's awesome, and hats off to you. How did the vote go?
11-0. So there was 2 people. There was 2 people who were absent, which is fine.
Who were the 2 absent, if you don't mind?
Oh, I can't remember.
Okay.
Councilman Johnson and Council. Oh my God, I can't even remember.
Okay. That means it was you so overwhelmed.
I was so happy. It was a very long meeting. It was almost a 5-hour meeting. But it was 11-0-2. And I want to give a shout out to my co-sponsors, Councilwoman Harley, Oliver, Will Howler, Darby, Congo.
Okay, well, you had both sides of the aisle on there. And it's weird I'm saying that all Democrats, but you got both sides of the aisle were a part of this discussion as well. See, that's how you do meaningful legislation.
Yeah.
I believe. I believe that it's not about the old, the new. It's about sitting down and having a real conversation and letting people add to. And that's one of the things I had with some of the city council members of old that may still be around, is that they were so narrow-minded. I can't take narrow-minded people. You have to open up to say, you know what? I'm sure some of the people who consider themselves the senior legislators, they were able to say, you know what, if we can add this to it and make it more meaningful, you were open to allow it to happen because it wasn't messing up your legislation. And look at you passed.
I worked with the mayor's administration. I want to give a shout out to their deputy chief of staff, Daniel Walker, and their director of real estate and housing, Bob Weir, who also lives in the 1st District. But then also, Councilwoman McCoy as well, too.
Yeah.
Had conversations with her, and she supported as well, too. So, again, just grateful for all of them for the working with me on this. I was really excited to get this done. But then also working with the different school leaders, our own Office of Educational Advocacy, Dr. O, who runs that department. Again, just working with them all in a collaborative way to get this over the finish line. And again, I'm just excited to hopefully attract more people. Why anyone who knows me knows I'm more left-leaning.
Very left-leaning.
I'm a social Democrat, maybe not super progressive, but I'm also very pro-Black. And the legislation that I have passed between the ordinances and the resolutions, again, are to attract more people to the city of Wilmington. And it's multiple different ways to do that, whether it's extending late night hours or giving home buying opportunities to individuals. So again, I want to just keep working in that realm on how do we attract more people to the city of Wilmington, because the more people that come and live here, the more revenue we have, the more wages we have, the more money we have to do other programs that I want to do as well too. And then again, working with this administration, I know that talking to some of the other council people who have been there last term or a few terms, it seems as though they were a little traumatized by the former mayor. I'm glad I don't have to deal with them because we know we did not get along. But I will say this mayor's administration, he has surrounded himself with some of the brightest people really out there who live in the city of Wilmington. Again, his top three, right? His chief of staff, Saran Cade,
my man.
Deputy chief of staff for policy and communications, Daniel Walker, and deputy chief of staff of operations, Stephanie Migler, are three extremely bright people who understand the city of Wilmington, and three people that I enjoy working with and enjoy reaching out and talking with as well too, on anything. Even if we don't agree, it has always been very respectable, and we've been able to have that open debate, which is supposed to be that. It's fun having that debate when you're not taking the personal shots, when you're not trying to undermine someone's ability just to do their job and represent their community. So again, thank you to them. But again, I'm super excited that this
and I'm super excited for you. I wish I had a lot of confetti to say congratulations, first one. And you did it bipartisan. And I shouldn't. I know I'm using the word bipartisan. Most of Democrats, but where you different thinking tanks were a part of this legislation, and that's very important. Anything else you have for us today?
That's all I have in my corner.
That's all you got in your corner today. Well, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to be right back. We're going to talk a little bit about this politics and some stuff that's going on in the country. And I want to also do the announcement and share about our affordable housing that we're getting ready to open up. We'll be right back.
It's gonna be real good.
Zion Fair is hosting its most extravagant celebration yet. Join us on December 7th for the Pastor and People's 20th Anniversary Black Tie Gala event. Be ready to move, because our special guests are bringing the music and soul that'll get you jumping out of your seats. You're not going to want to miss these three musical giants. Welcoming the illustrious voice of Kiera Clark Sheard. The incomparable piano talents of Twinkie Clark. sound the majestic music of Karen Clark Sheard. Don't miss this rare opportunity to hear these gospel legends perform. So be there at the Chase Center at 7 p.m. on December 7th. Get your tickets in the lobby after service, at the front office during the week, or anytime online on our Eventbrite page. And don't forget to ask about our layaway plan.
And we're back. Real quick, just on the state of politics today, I just want to have some quick questions. And you know, some of them want to be the old ones that I've always had. But I want to start off by talking about Congress. Why are they being paid while the government is shut down?
Because there was a special provision that was put into law, passed by them, signed by the president decades ago, that if there is shutdowns, that the president, the vice president, and members of Congress will still continue to be paid.
So that's why they can play with it.
And you have seen that happen throughout America with all chambers back then. And this happened decades ago, that if there are shutdowns, let's say the city didn't pass a budget and the city shut down, the elected officials would still get paid. Now, you do have some members of Congress who have sent letters saying, hey, hold my check until the shutdown's over. And you've had some members who have dedicated their check to helping their staff, right? So dispersing it amongst, now, again, they make $174,000 a year. Usually you have close to like 30 staffers. I don't know how much that's going to really help breaking it over.
Give them a
But then-
macaroni and cheese sandwich.
But then again, most of the members of Congress are millionaires
Yeah.
and could probably cut a check to help their staffers. Most won't, but some will.
Oh, got you. Governor Gavin, how you say his name?
Gavin Newsom.
Newsom. He did something I kind of appreciated because it's like he's punching back at Trump. He told the universities, if you buy into what Trump is selling and you start changing all your policies, we're going to take your state funding. That was a Trump move. I thought that was pretty good. What do you think?
I mean, and I know universities are probably sweating because they're like, wait, do I risk my federal funding? Do I risk my state funding? Most universities, most of their funding comes from the state.
State, that's right.
So hopefully they will decide to side with the state on this. Trump, again, has abused his power in trying to control what universities are teaching, what universities allow on their campus. You saw most of the Ivy Leagues have caved to him already so that they could get some federal money. It's sad. It's a reality that we're living in right now, but I do think Newsom did the right thing with trying to fight back against this as well.
I thought that was awesome because at some point we're going to have to. Do you think we can undo all of this damage that Trump is doing with all the different areas?
I think even though it has happened all in 1 year and we still have 3 more years.
Really, 2. Because I think if we take the House, we're going to slow some stuff down for real.
It's still going to be rough. It's going to take almost a decade to correct everything and get things back to where it should be, because you're still going to have people who are not going to want to fund the things that should have been funded already. So it's going to take some time.
Yeah. Do you think that somebody's sitting down on the Democratic side of the House writing down all these things so there'll be a list of things that needs to be undone?
Oh, absolutely.
Because sometimes I think we get silly.
Absolutely. You have those tacticians in there who know what's being cut, how it's impacting the community, and how it would need to be fixed as well too.
Okay. A laughable moment. The judge is trying to figure out how they're charging Comey.
Yeah.
Because it don't make sense.
So the former FBI director, who has been known as someone who Trump does not like, even though his report in 2016 helped Trump win office, has been indicted on 2 charges. And this comes after the U.S. attorney, the first U.S. attorney, wouldn't do it, so Trump fired them. He's going after his political enemies. A True Social tweet that he thought he was sending via DM, but he posted it. That's how he talks to his U.S. attorney, not through official channels, but through DMs on his True Social app, saying find something, go after him. He was very mean to me, and I don't like mean people, pretty much, right?
Well, he must not like himself, but go ahead.
But Trump says the indictment is welcomed because he lied to the Senate during the committee investigating the 2020 report, and that that's not allowed. You can't perjure yourself and something, which is very interesting. Judges are looking at this and saying, you really have nothing here. Trump is promising to bring the full weight of the U.S. federal government down on Comey. He wants Patty Bond, the U.S. Attorney General, to prosecute the case herself, which is almost unheard of. So again, we'll see. But this is just an escalation of political retaliation from the Trump administration. We see they're going after Comey. They're going after Letitia James, the AG of New York, Alan Biggs, Manhattan DA, and many more.
Yeah, he's just very vindictive. His main man called all the generals from around the world to come to Virginia.
Yes.
To be humiliated. He talked about their facial hair. He talked about their weight size. He talked about, although my daughter agreed with the raising Cane, because they do have good chicken. But he talked about the stupidest things, and they would just stay there with a Blair face. Did anybody ever clap? I couldn't remember.
No. So, and Trump said, "Oh, y'all can clap. Y'all can clap." They are not supposed to do that. It's official protocol. And that's why it was so dead silence. And I guess Trump didn't understand that they had it set up, not like a military briefing, but like a political rally, if you look at the background and everything. But it was over 800 military generals. Again, they called everyone in, from the one-star general or rear admiral in the Navy to travel to Guantanamo, not Guantanamo Bay, Quantico, Virginia. And again, that left us very vulnerable because none of our generals around the world were in their position to make this announcement, which could have just been an email, to be honest. But Trump and Hesef wanted to talk about physical fitness and everything, and I think it's hilarious because as a member of the big body committee, Trump got me beat with the big body. And Pete Heseg, even though I am a big guy, I could do more pull-ups than him and our health secretary. We saw the video of them struggling to do 1. I could do 5 if you want to make it a competition. But again, y'all want to talk about the military. Now, I've said this multiple times. I am always going to support veterans and our service. I wish that we did not have to have war. But again, I will pit any of these guys up against those two any day, and bet money on them, on our military servicemen. So again, the Trump administration, again, political theater this was. And then when he did not get claps, it was his Jeb Bush moment, the please clap, when he got up there, he was leaning on the podium, and he was like, y'all could clap for me. And they just sat there.
Yeah, well, he couldn't convince them, but I guess he's trying to really set something up so that he can really do something at the end, that martial law thing. He's probably doing all of this testing and see what's going to be their foreman, who will listen and who would just go off of the command. But I guess he got a rude awakening with that one. We've been talking for the last several months on this whole midterms. I kind of think that's going to be our saving grace. I don't know. What are you feeling? Do you feel, let's start with Congress, the House. Do you feel still that we will take the House?
I do. And redistricting just happened in Utah, where they were supposed to put Salt Lake City back together. it had been divided amongst 3 different congressional districts. They now divided it amongst 2 congressional districts. And instead of creating 3 strong Republican districts, they've now created a Republican plus 2 and a Republican plus 11 district. 2 very competitive districts that Democrats could win. Now, come election night in 1 month and 1 year from now, if on election night I see that Utah now has 2 Democrats in Congress, I will laugh quite healthily. But again, it's that puts the map more in play, right? We have more competitive districts. Democrats are building momentum in areas that they haven't had in a while, that
Okay.
they've lost since 2018. So I truly think that they will flip the House.
Okay, and what about the Senate?
The Senate is going to be close. I think, if anything, probably what's going to happen is a 50-50 split.
Okay,
Um,
which would keep them in charge.
which would keep the Republicans in charge because they have the vice president. Iowa and Ohio are going to be the 2 that you need to watch.
Okay. Let me just, as we are coming to the end of our show, and I want to just say this to those of you who are watching. Many of you have called the church regarding our affordable senior housing that we have built here in South Bridge. First, let me take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you who have faith and confidence in us, and we are just about finished. We have a few little touching things that touch-ups to do, and the house will be open on October the 12th, which is next Sunday at 2 p.m. We will be doing the ribbon cutting. We've invited our politicians as well as our community to join us as we cut the ribbon on this new affordable housing for seniors. Our whole goal was to ensure that seniors had a healthy place to live, a safe environment, and we tried to do everything we could in order to make that happen here in South Bridge. Now, this is only 10 units. I want to keep saying that because there are so many people who are really trying to be a part of this, to get in these apartments, and I really want to make it happen. I hope that the city, as well as the state and the county, will use this as a model. Our seniors have done so much for us. Our seniors are the ones who held this community together, and some of them, it was their sweat and their tears that caused us to be whoever we are today. And I never wanted to forget our seniors. But I just want to announce that on October the 12th is going to be our ribbon cutting. You are certainly welcome to come down and be a part of that. In addition to that, start next week, we will be having the opening of our applications. So you can call the church and say, listen, I would like to get an application. We hope to have it online as well as here physically at the church. We're going to give at least a 3 to 4 week open time span so people get a chance to get these applications, get them done. And then after we receive your application, it will go through the vetting process to ensure that you are eligible to be a part of the lottery that we will have. And once you've completed all the information, you've been vetted, then your name will be placed into this lottery, and we're going to do a drawing so that we will be able to make sure that we treat everybody fairly. We only have 10 units, and there have been an outpour of people who really want to be a part of this. It's a nice place. I believe people are going to enjoy their time here, and we made it safe with the secure things that we've done, including the elevators. I always often talk about the elevators, as well as the backyards that are now fenced in with a deck on them to ensure that you will be able to enjoy the outdoors as well during the summer and the winter as well, if you so desire. But it's going to be a nice event. I'm hoping that you will join us on October the 12th at 2 p.m. here at Zion Fair across the street at Bree and Bradford Street. It's going to be a wonderful opportunity for us to cut the ribbon and to show the community what the Lord has done. The tithers of Zion Fair, the city of Wilmington, the state of Delaware, as well as Newcastle County, all came together to help us bring this to a reality, and we are grateful. Call the church, 302-652-9114. Again, that's 302-652-9114 to see whether or not how you can get an application to you. We want to make sure, but also please note this, there will have to be a note from the doctor saying that you can live on your own. This is not a senior housing where we will do assisted living. You have to be able to be well mobile enough to be able to live on your own in order to be a part of this. And you also have to be below the poverty line so that you'll be able to get into these apartments as well. Thank you so very much. Kobe, we've had a good show today. It seems like it was a little depressing only because we talked about Donald Trump. He's just the whirlwind that's going on. But is there anything else that you may have on your docket that we need to talk about this week?
That's all I have.
That's all you have? Well, that's all I have this week, and I look forward to next week. Until next time, God bless.
Take care, y'all.
You've been watching The Source with host Dr. C.T. Curry and co-host Kobe Owens. Tune in every Sunday at 5 p.m. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for the latest episodes.